Welcome back to another episode of Have a Day podcast. I'm your host, Brian McRae, and be sure to check us out on all our social media networks and outlets, especially our YouTube channel at Have a Day podcast. Today, we have a good guest here, a friend of mine from a while, Strnad, the general manager at the Hilton President downtown. And if you haven't been downtown and checked out the Hilton President, you should do that at some time. We had a lot of fun things and good things happening in the Kansas City downtown area this spring and this summer, and we'll talk about some of those things. But first, we'll have some fun and ask you a few questions and do some Q&A a little bit about your hotel, the downtown area. And first of all, welcome to the podcast. And what do you think is the best attribute of the Hilton President Hotel?
Probably our affiliation with Hilton. Our hotels, our 100-year anniversary is coming up in March. So the hotel's been there for 100 years. So it kind of stands on its own as a historic, place. But at the same time, having the affiliation with Hilton is critical. Brings in people that are familiar with the Hilton name that might not be familiar with Kansas City, downtown Kansas City, or where to stay, and they see the Hilton name and they're all about it. Like I said, the historic significance of our hotel is big in the city, operationally for about 100 years. So,
what has that building been in the 100 years? It's transformed into where it is now. Yeah. But what did it start out at? And give us the origins of the building.
Well, it was opened in 1927 as the President Hotel. It had about 450 rooms. Their big thing was the first hotel in Kansas City to make ice on premise, which was, was a big thing back then. Every room had, pretty much every room had 2 beds, so they could accommodate, 900 people minimum in that hotel. The hotel closed down probably in about end of 90s, early 2000s. It closed down for about 10 or 15 years. It was vacant. It had a lot of homeless people living in it, and people would burn fires in the lobby to stay warm, and it was pretty much destroyed. A gentleman by the name of Stan Durwood, who I think he owned the Power and Light building across the street, but his plan was to tear down our hotel and turn it into probably parking or part of this envisioned idea of an entertainment district, which was just talk at the time. No one really knew if it was going to happen. Our hotel owner came along, bought the hotel, a gentleman by the name of Ron Jury, who's a developer, and he did about a $42 to $45 million renovation on the hotel. Condensed it down to 213 rooms, so the rooms were bigger because they were tiny back in the day. Restored the ballrooms and the meeting rooms to their original condition, what they looked like in the 1920s or late 20s, early 30s. And ever since then, it's just been the President Hotel. I mean, it's technically called the Hilton President Hotel, but we also just know it as a President Hotel. The thing that people know is the big President sign on the roof that, the big lit up sign that kind of is a beacon to downtown that's now been blocked by some other buildings. But, we're the only hotel in the Power and Light District. So when the Power and Light District came along, we were just a natural fit, and we had a space carved out in the Power and Light District. As far as we know, there won't be another hotel put in Power and Light, but you never know. So
you have 33 or 35 years in the hospitality business. Yeah. And you've seen a lot of things change over that time span. What are some of the biggest changes that you've seen, and what are some of the challenges now with the hospitality business?
Just to kind of real quickly, a brief history of my career. I spent a good portion of my career down in Florida, in Central Florida with Disney. And then from there, I went to work for Ritz-Carlton in Amelia Island, Florida. Then I moved to Key Largo and Destin and all around the state of Florida. And it's my kind of consider my second home. I love it there. But hospitality has changed. Hospitality's gone from being hospitality industry to being a hotel, if that makes any sense. There used to be a great focus on hospitality. We like to think we do that better than anybody else at Hilton. But my career early on was very, very, we are still guest centric, but everything was about the guest. And now it seems to be more about, not necessarily making money, but being profitable is obviously critical, right? But the focus, especially like at Ritz-Carlton and Disney, was it didn't matter. Our saying was we do anything, move heaven and earth for a guest unless it was illegal or immoral, right? And we still, like I said, we're very guest centric, but the industry as a whole has changed. Wages have gone way up, operating costs have gone way up. Profit margin has shrunk, so rates go up to what we charge the guests. Cost of our food and beverage, everything we do is more expensive, and that profit margin shrinks. So really at this point, it's critical, in my view, the general manager's role is to take care of the people that work at the hotel. They'll take care of the guests. But if we take care of them, they will in turn take care of the guests. So, but there's been a shift in hospitality overall to go from that everything guest centric to more of a, in my opinion, it should be more of the taking care of the employees and let them take care of the guests. So
you have a busy schedule, a lot of things you're planning for right now.
Constantly.
Big 12 tournament is one.
Right.
And then after the Big 12 tournament, you have a little lull, and then something that I don't even think anybody can grasp how big that's going to be with the World Cup coming in June or July. But first with the Big 12 tournament, something that's, you've done year after year after year,
right.
And it kind of runs pretty smoothly. But go over the events with the Big 12 tournament, men's and women's, NAIA in town also, and what special that your hotel does for the guests, and also I'm sure you have some of the teams that will stay here too.
Just one.
still just KU.
Just one team. Yeah. I mean, Big 12 is so much fun because basketball is just like, you just feel it's starting to build like now. So we're already starting to talk about Big 12 tournament and kind of getting ready for that. And, we host a team at our hotel and just a wonderful group of people. I can't say enough good things about, working with KU. They're just good people. But Big 12 is just always exciting for the city. I thought of something, a little conversation, but, right during COVID is the only time, and I've been at this hotel now for almost 20 years. And there was a time where Big 12 was in Dallas, I think, for a year.
A couple of years.
Was it Oklahoma City? I can't remember.
In the mid or early 2000s, they moved it around a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the only time, though, and during COVID, that we haven't had Big 12. And so, we do know how to operate during that time. The parking, just the massive people that come down, and it's so much fun. And it's always better when the weather's better, right? But we're starting to build up to Big 12 right now. Like you said, men's and women's. The women's obviously doesn't draw like the crowds that the men's do, but hopefully they're getting more and more people come down because, man, they work just as hard, and then following Big 12, we're gonna head right into World Cup. So, I mean, that's right around the corner, and we're starting to. We've been talking about World Cup for a few years, right? A couple of years, and but it's now starting to, be right front and center right after Big 12. So,
what are some of the special events or things that you have planned at your hotel during the World Cup?
Well, we're going to be we'll be a host hotel for different companies that are coming in town that sponsor World Cup. We made a decision a couple of years ago not to necessarily pursue a team. It didn't fit what we were looking to do. Because also at the time, teams didn't necessarily know if they were going to choose you as a hotel or not. So you could say, okay, we want to be a team hotel, and you hold all that inventory out and then find out, oh, we're not a team hotel. Then you got a problem. So we've always kind of maintained that it wasn't our goal to be a team hotel. So we'll be a sponsor hotel where sponsors will stay at the hotel. Not sure who and how that will go down, but we know that the hotel is going to be absolutely maximum operating in every shape and form. Food and beverage, breakfast, lunch, dinner,
All hands on deck.
room service all night. I mean, it's going to be nonstop, especially with all the international travelers who are going to be on their body clocks are on absolutely different time zones. So we may have, people from Argentina or, England or wherever they're going to be from, and they're going to eat dinner at, 2:00 in the morning or 3:00 in the morning. So I'm told that they still maintain somewhat of their schedules at home. They don't sleep a lot. They go to watch a lot of the games, and but it's going to be crazy. I mean, it's going to be crazy. I think like nothing like the city's ever seen before.
Yeah,
I'm really starting to believe that.
I don't think when people talk about it, we can still grasp.
No.
We've had big events in this city,
Sure,
and we've had the parades and the things like that. But I just don't. I don't think we've seen anything quite like this. And this is going to be for almost a month.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the difference. World Series, the Royals championships or Super Bowls. I mean, they're kind of,
compacted.
Yeah. The playoffs are into a few weeks and, the World Series run, it's very short compared to World Cup where it's just going to be, nonstop. And see, right after World Cup though, then we go right back to being, doing weddings and doing events. And this is a great time. It's not to sound like complaining at all. It's fantastic. I mean, this is what
it's better than the alternative.
Yeah. It's better than being empty during COVID. Yeah. So
I know when we spoke, it was probably 6 or 7 years ago. We were talking about some other things, and your son probably playing baseball, and you had mentioned that some of the baseball teams had reached out to you because they were not really happy with what was going on the plaza.
Yeah.
And they were looking for other hotels. Yeah. And I think you had a few teams that stayed with you. And what they liked about the hotel was for security purposes, there's only 2 or 3 entrances and exits. So teams felt better, checking out your hotel, and you expanded some of the rooms and did things like that. Yeah. Well, how'd that process go? And our baseball team still staying there? And
we kind of got out of the baseball business, although we still talk to baseball teams. There is, probably better than anyone knows in this room that, baseball to us was easy. It's the guys that play baseball, it's a business trip, right? They come in, they eat, they might go out a time or two, then they go back to their rooms. I mean,
that's okay. Go.
For professional athletic teams, they're fantastic and so easy to deal with. However, what we've also found is that a baseball team may come in and commit, 60, 50 rooms, and then that displaces maybe a wedding or something like that, or corporate business. So we have still really fantastic contacts and relationships with different baseball teams, but we've kind of slid out of that business a little bit. We go to the Major League Baseball winter meetings every year just to maintain those relationships. And we've had some wonderful partners like the White Sox and people like that. Yankees have stayed with us in Detroit. But like I said, it's a great business, but sometimes you need to find that business that's really going to fit your hotel specifically. So,
and you being a sports fan and having been able to host some of your favorite teams or players or coaches, and what are some of your favorite experiences and things that stick with you from being able to host them, and then once you know them a little bit, being able to hang out with some of the people that you watched and that you'd admired?
Well, I've always found that like when the baseball teams would stay with us, even though I'm a huge baseball fan, we don't bother them, right? And all the players that ever stayed there over the years, I only asked for an autograph from one player, was Yohan Moncada, because he's the White Sox, shining star, and was, I thought, this is a guy, I gotta get this guy to sign a ball. He's the only one I ever asked, right? Gave the ball to my son, and he thought that was fantastic. But what I found personally is over the years, the same guys that come back, you kind of get to know them, the managers and things like that. But we also saw that a lot of players, as they walk in one day on the team, and they're leaving to go to another team. You know, I had an experience one time where the guy was working for the baseball team. He was at the back door the players were leaving, and he just happened to take a couple of bags and push them to the side. And I go, "What's going on with that?" And he goes, "I got traded." And I was like, "Does he know?" And he goes, "No, he's about to find out." So, and they put him on a plane back to another city or something. So I a little bit of the appreciation for the life that they had and the not always knowing where they were going to be and their families getting uprooted and things like that. So a lot of the guys came back every year and we got to know them. And then, like I said, I had a better appreciation for what the guys did that played professional sports, whether they're baseball or we've had other teams. We've had a NBA team stay with us during exhibition games in Kansas City. And of course, like I said, we do some college sports and things like that. But I've generally found that athletes are some of the easiest people to deal with. They just are. And there's sometimes a misconception, I think, of athletes when they say at hotels. It's not true. They come in and do their business. They're working and they leave. They don't trash rooms. Sometimes you don't even know they've been in there, right? The bed's unmade barely and they go. So
with the Royals potentially talking about moving somewhere downtown.
Yeah.
What impact would that have on the hotel, just on whatever your off nights would be or midweek? And what kind of conversations have you heard or what's the consensus of the next direction of what's going on? I haven't heard it much, but the next direction of what's going on downtown. What are some of the things going on downtown that are going to impact this area and possibly your hotel?
I don't know. I mean, I think the Royals want to be at that Washington Square Park location. I think that's probably their desire, but I think that they also, this is my personal opinion, I think they kind of keep that hand close to themselves because they don't necessarily want to replay it. But if they were in that location, to us, it's huge. You know, the additional exposure to downtown, the people coming downtown. How many home nights are there? Is it
80?
How many home games?
81.
81. I mean, good grief. That's crazy. And then not to say they're going to sell out. Well, I mean, their first year or two at a new stadium, they may.
Right.
You know, with the excitement and the Royals being, just a potential contender right now. I mean, I would love to have them downtown. I mean, how many years is this down the road? I don't know. To construction.
3.
Yeah.
3, 4. Yep.
I would love that. I mean, I would think it'd be great for downtown in so many different ways, But, everybody's got their own agenda on this, Like I said, I think I'd ask you that question if you know.
But I think
probably know more than
you may hear some things about what's going on downtown with the potential of.
Yeah. I think the mayor has kind of been Washington Square Park friendly. I think that's what he's kind of thinking. But I mean, I have no source on it. I mean, I just watch the news and things like that. So, but yeah, I mean, I'd love to see him downtown. Huge Royals fan. They're fantastic. So,
and I know that there are a lot of conventions that have been coming back to Kansas City that have gone away. A lot of competitions with being cheerleading, dance, things
volleyball.
like volleyball's huge. AAU basketball in the summer and things of that nature. How do you try to, put one thing or the other? What are your priorities if there's a lot of things going on at the same time?
Well, I mean, everything's kind of rate driven, right? So it kind of depends on what you need at that time. So, for instance, we have a lot of volleyball players checking in. Friday of this
There's
week.
a big volleyball,
big volleyball tournament coming up. And that'll fill all the hotels downtown. Sometimes, depending on how big the group is, it may not fit what we need, right? It may just go to one hotel like the Lowe's or the Westin or the Sheraton that are bigger hotels that can house one piece of business. When it's a huge group and creates what we call compression, where they need other hotels because there's such demand. Well, hotels are just like airlines, where you can book an airline seat and check back 40 minutes later, it may be $200 more expensive. In hotels, we have the same algorithm, so just watch trends and it can tell demand is going up So rates will start to fluctuate or they'll go down, just they fluctuate all the time. But we're always looking for the business, and that's what our sales and marketing team does. We're looking for the business that fits our 213 rooms. It could be a wedding. Sometimes it would make more sense for us to take a wedding with 100 rooms and food and beverage and an event, as opposed to taking 150 rooms with no food and beverage. So it's kind of a puzzle. And that's what our sales team does. We're always looking to fit the right piece of business in the hotel. So,
and I think what a lot of people don't know about the hotel also is, there's restaurants.
Yeah.
I go there and eat breakfast every day.
Yeah.
Like good restaurant,
Yeah.
dinner, nice, cool little bar. There's other things there that I don't think people really realize that it's full service.
Right. I mean, we have like you said, a restaurant called the Walnut Room where we do breakfast. We have a little Starbucks, coffee shop. We have the Drum Room Bar, which has been around since the late 40s, early 50s. So yeah, there's plenty of the thing that's a little bit different in our hotel though. Being in the Power and Light District, we have a lot of guests that come and they want to go right out to experience, Power and Light or that downtown general area. So we're totally fine with that. I mean, we do capture people in-house too that, they want to stay in the hotel and go to the Drum Room and have a drink or some appetizers and then maybe grab dinner in Providence, our restaurant. But also in hotels, generally speaking, when you go stay someplace, you also want to get out and experience the city a little bit. And there's so much to do in Kansas City, the different restaurants and the entertainment venues. There's just so much to do here. And what's also cool, going back to World Cup, is that Kansas City's about to get exposed to the world, basically, in a way they never have before. These people have never been here before from Argentina or, I keep forgetting Venezuela, Argentina.
I think Argentina.
Yeah. Argentina, England. I mean, these people haven't been here before, right? And they're going to come here for the first time. So it's going to be pretty cool. So.
Now we do a segment here where we'll, whatever charities that you may, or if your family or you and your wife, there are any charities that are near and dear to your heart that you want to speak about them a little bit, and any charity work that you do?
Yeah, I mean, we as a hotel, we get involved in a lot of different things. We've recently been pretty involved with Be Headstrong, which is a group for traumatic brain injury, Little Owl Foundation, just different. We participate as a hotel. We don't necessarily channel everything into one, but we will get involved in all kinds of different fundraisers, and we're always like a hotel that steps up and donates rooms and packages to schools and whoever needs something. It's just the right thing to do, right? As a business, if we have that pull to do it, we do it. We rarely say no to someone needing help or something like that. And going back again to our our employees, we're very centered around taking care of them. And if they need food or if they need whatever they need, we help them out. So I don't know who keeps calling me Brian. Sorry. I'm going to silence this thing. It's fun.
That's all right. You're a busy man.
I'm trying not to be. But like I told you, I have 2 kids going to college, and I have a stream of nonstop questions coming in from my kids.
No problem.
So, anyway,
rooms available for the Big 12 tournament. Are you sold out?
Close. Yeah, we're close. Yeah, we're narrowing in on being sold out here pretty soon. So we got a few left. So our buddy Gurley's got to he better get his room booked.
You got to have his suite. Yeah. Will you be going to any games of the Big 12 tournament?
I probably will. I like to get over for a KU game or a TCU game. We're a KU TCU family, so I would like to get over for a game. Sometimes I get very enthusiastic about going to the game, and then at the end of the day, I'm kind of like, I just want to get out of here. I'm ready to go home. I'll watch it on TV. So, but I'll get over a game or two, I'm sure. So. Will
you be hanging out at any of the events around Big 12 tournament?
Yeah,
there's stuff that goes on, hospitality, things.
I always try and go hang out and kind of see the 8-10 people over there. My buddy Steven St. John and those guys. we do. I know it doesn't matter now, but we do a lot of sponsorship with the New Day with SSJ.
Yes, and I appreciate that you guys do that.
The A10 folks, they're great. I mean, they're fantastic. So we do a lot of stuff with them, and I'm sure I'll go and see them for a little bit over there in the living room over at Power and Light, and I typically do that. So, but I mean, there's just so much going on. But like I said, it can get a little overwhelming too. Sometimes, I live out south, so sometimes if I see the window of opportunity to get out before the traffic prohibits you from doing so, I may do it. So, yeah.
Before we go to anything else about your hotel, anything that you want to let everybody know, and why they should come down and hang out and stay at the Hilton President?
It's just, it's a cool hotel. It's a historic hotel. I mean, like you said, we're closing in on our 100-year anniversary here soon, and we're closing in our 20-year anniversary as a Hilton. And 100 years as being a functional hotel in Kansas City. But it's just a neat hotel. It's preserved. It's like a moment in time. And we pay a lot of respect to the history of the hotel through, photographs and historic items in the hotel and things like that. So it's just a cool place to come walk around and visit.
Yeah. I enjoy hanging out there. And a lot of my friends, when they come into town, that's where I tell them to check out and stay. And I think
during Big 12, it's packed down there. I mean, it's so much fun.
Yeah, I think a couple of years ago when the Cubs came in town, the group of friends of mine from Chicago, I remember that. They all stayed at your hotel. So they had a great time, and I think the Cubs come back this year, so a lot of them are looking forward to coming back and staying at the hotel.
I'd love to have them.
All right. Well, thank you, Philip, for spending some time with me and going over your hotel and the happenings coming up in the spring and the summer. And good luck with everything. It's always good seeing you.
Appreciate it.
Get some sleep before everything gets crazy.
Right. I know. I will.
Thank you for listening to Have a Day podcast. I'm your host again, Brian McRae. And as always, be sure to check out all our social media platforms, our YouTube channel at Have a Day Podcast. Thank you very much, and we'll catch you next time.